So right away, I just, chanted those parts of the Mass that are proper to the priest, the dialogues, the orations. And I could tell it was kind of uncomfortable actually that first weekend because, you sing the Lord be with you and people are like, oh, you can kind of saw the alarm on their face a little bit like, oh, this is different. And what I really found with time is that folks more readily um, experienced the Mass as something radically elevated from kind of the mundane experience of life, and it elevated them from the mundane to the sublime to heaven, to the greatest experience of heaven that we have here on earth. It communicates that we take worship very seriously.
Times people get used to a certain way of doing liturgy, a certain song that is maybe not liturgically up to par. And so that took a lot of time with the funeral directors, the choir, cantors, organist, and what have you. But if a priest is solid in his instructions, he will then be fearless when he has to deal with all of these different people. Because I know that music in the parish and could be probably the most touchy thing that a priest might have to do.
My name is Emily Lapisardi, and I am one of the instructors for the Chanting the Liturgy program for deacons and priests. Many of the students who come to us are deacons and priests who have a good deal of anxiety about chant. Some of them simply do not have the prior training. Others have had negative experiences chanting, and this makes them particularly anxious. And of course, when one is anxious, one tends not to perform to one's optimal ability. Through online study, we help deacons and priests become more familiar with the chants of the liturgy, especially the Exultet, which is one of the most demanding, so that they feel more confident, more secure in their vocal technique, in the notes they are singing, in singing unaccompanied in front of people. And we also combat performance anxiety directly through techniques which help you to do your best, even under pressure.
I would really want to emphasize the focus on adding, that we're not taking away things that, hymns that are really beloved by our congregation, but we can add on top of that, especially if we have one Sunday Mass that's celebrated with particular solemnity. While the priest is incensing the altar, we could transition from the hymn to singing the antiphon. I would also want to focus in making it compelling and beautiful. Really, if you want to introduce propers, you want to make that step, really focus on making it compelling and beautiful to people, avoiding that stereotype that the chant is boring.
The church has given us this tradition, and we just kind of forgot about it, right? So no judgment on these parishes, but institutes like Sacred Music Institute, they're kind of trying to tap into the church and its tradition, and to show that there is so much more, right? There is so much more, and you can always work with a parish like that. There's no impossibility really to work with parishes that maybe don't have that knowledge or have the instruction.
We're not just teaching people knowledge, we're forming people's hearts to desire what is truly good and truly beautiful. And if you encounter, resistance to implementing the church's vision of sacred liturgy, I think it's a point to really come back to, is that we are forming hearts to desire what is truly good and truly beautiful, forming hearts to desire something outside of this world. I think there's a kind of increasing awareness that things going on in the world are not right, and we need to point people towards something different. And I think that's going to create more openness to an authentic vision of sacred music as well.
We understand there may be some skepticism regarding online lessons. And I will admit that even as an instructor, I was somewhat uncertain when we began this how successful it would be. But I can tell you that through this program, we have reached congregations across the United States and internationally. I've worked with priests and deacons who have measurably improved their chanting in only a couple of lessons. We have had deacons who had very negative experiences chanting the Exultet, who had very positive experiences after completing the program. Through the online lessons, you will work one-on-one with your vocal coach. They will lead you through vocal exercises, help you to determine your optimal range, work on breathing, placement, diction, and all of the other components which lead to improvements in your singing. Because this is individually tailored for each student, we can focus on what you need most in these sessions. We have had students of all levels of ability, from very talented musicians to those who had no prior training, did not read music, and had difficulty matching pitch. Everyone has different gifts. Some people are very musically talented, some are not, but everyone can improve. And through one-on-one lessons and through our video courses for deacons and priests, you too can become more secure in chanting the liturgy. And we do not only offer training for deacons and priests. We also have programs specifically designed for music directors, choral directors, organists, and cantors. We can work with you to completely transform the music program in your parish, or we can help you strengthen the aspects of it which could use a little improvement. You can do this. Whatever your musical background, whatever your level of natural ability, you can improve. Through study with the Sacred Music Institute of America, we will meet you where you are and help you to realize your potential.